Hello everybody, welcome to our live stream today. How's everybody doing? Hopefully you guys are having a great day. Today we are going to go through some glitter acrylic, colored acrylic techniques, and I'm going to show you how to make some extra money. Because I know you guys all are looking to make some extra money, so as a nail tech, it is important to know how to charge for your services, what to charge for your services. So I'm going to take you through a little bit of that today and have some fun along the way. So we're going to work with some of our slick pour acrylics. We're going to do some glitters, some glitter fades here. So welcome everybody in. I'm going to just start getting our nails prepped here. I'm going to clip a few of them down and then we'll get them going here. Hello to everybody. Let's see, who do we have joining us? Wendy from Prince Edward Island, Canada. Welcome from Canada. Thank you for joining us. And if you didn't know yet, we do now ship to Canada on the website. So definitely check out our sale this weekend. All right, who else do we have in here today? Jessica, hello, how are you? JMR Gunners. I'm glad that you are enjoying the lives. These are so much fun, you guys. I love to be able to come in here and show you guys some fun techniques, let you guys get in a little bit in on the action here. All right, so let's go ahead and get started with our prep. I'm gonna come in a little bit so you guys can see. Oh, it's looking like we got a lot of return people today. Thank you guys for all joining us again. Appreciate that. All right, so we're gonna start just by pushing back those cuticles. And I know I say this every time, what you practice on your practice hand is what you're gonna do on a real person. So make sure that you're still practicing pushing back those cuticles, get into that habit of it, get into that routine of it. And we're just removing the shine gently. I'm using a medium sanding band. I've got my e-file speed on 4,000 RPMs, just gently removing that shine. Let's dust this off. Get all that dust off of there. Let me move the camera just a little bit so it stops shaking here. There we go. Hopefully that's a little bit better for you guys. We're going to come in with our swipe and we are going to clean off that nail. Get all of that dust, all that dirt off of there. Looks like Esther's coming in from the Bay Area. Looks like it's nice and sunny there. I wish it were sunny here. It's a little on the cloudy and cold side where I'm at, but we are still doing nails and we're still having fun today. So, all right, so we've got our cuticles pushed back. We've removed the shine. We're going to come in with our protein bond. Now, protein bond, if you guys have heard me talk about this before, it's one of my favorite products because it really helps to enhance the adhesion of your acrylic to that nail. And it kind of works like a double-sided tape, so it's going to stick down to that natural nail, but then it's going to leave a sticky surface for that product to grab onto. You can see that nail, it's still going to look shiny, okay? It's not going to lose that shine. It's going to get a little bit just tacky, so it's not going to be like a primer where it dries back to that chalky look. It's always going to look tacky like this. Now, when I'm doing acrylics or hard gel enhancements, I use 2 coats of my protein bond just for that added insurance, just to make sure that my client's not going to have any lifting issues or anything like that. So 2 coats of protein bond and we are good to go. All right, let me get some liquid going here. So I know we've been doing gels for a couple of days here, so I thought I'd switch it up a little bit. We're going to work on some acrylics today. So let's get our monomer, and yeah, I do tend to practice colors on the top of my on the top of my jars here. So, and you guys, just really quick, let me show you that. So what that top is, I actually took the cork out. I think I actually lost the cork, and I just used the cap from my liquid. So I had an old bottle of liquid. I just put that cap in there. So if you guys lose your corks for your Dappen dishes here, you can always use an extra cap from an old bottle of monomer. So just another quick trick today. All right, so I'm just going to pour some liquid out, get that all ready here. Hello, Miss Cheryl's Place. Nice to see you in. How are you? Again, you guys, we got some regulars here today. I love it. I love seeing all the familiar names and that in the chat. So welcome to everybody. If you're new, welcome. We love to see the new faces or new names here as well. All right, so we're going to get our form on. I'm going to take that little tab out of the center, pop that on the back. I'm going to pinch my tabs together nice and tight. Let me get right in there so you guys can see exactly what I'm doing. So these two little silver tabs, I always want to make sure that I get those pinched together nice and even so that now my nail is going to be nice and straight. Okay, it's not going to be lopsided. All right, again, on a natural nail, we're going to open that up, and I'm going to come in just right up underneath that nail, lift that form up, and we're going to secure that down. I'm just going to adjust that just a little bit, make sure that that bold line right down the center of my form comes straight down in line with my finger. Let's pinch that just a little bit tighter today. We're going to do, I'm not going to say we're going to do an active length, but we're not going to do an overly long nail, okay? When you're doing your full sets, let's start talking about pricing here, you guys. When you're doing your full sets, you want to always keep in mind your pricing is going to be kind of according to your length, okay? That's going to be one factor in your price. The longer your nail, the higher your price is going to be, okay? I'm going to break this down really specific for you guys at the end of our video here so you can get all of those details. So if you're joining us now, make sure you stick around to the end to get all of those exact details. But keep in mind, if you are working on a shorter nail, that's going to be a little bit less expensive than what a longer nail is. Now, why do I say that? Because a longer nail is going to be more work. It's going to be more product, okay? So make sure that you are charging those higher prices for longer nails. All right, let me get this in here so you guys can see exactly what I'm doing. Whoops. All righty. Okay, so I don't know if you guys noticed, I have a few of our table towels. I just like to cut those into small squares so that I have them just to wipe my brush on, and then I have the rest of the table towel just kind of protecting everything. So just a little other helpful hint. All right, so we are gonna come in here. There we go. Okay, now you guys can see what's going on. Okay, so I'm gonna come in and pick up a small pearl. We're gonna build out our free edge first. Okay, so just a small pearl, and I'm going to drain that out onto my towel, get that little extra liquid out of there. Okay, I want to bring that more to a clay form rather than a liquid form that's going to kind of run all over. Okay, we're going to press that out from side to side, bring that up using the edge of my brush up to those sides, up to the sides. Okay, straight in, connect with that side. Bring in just a little bit so you guys can see. And then I'm going to come back over and do the same thing on the other side. So I'm just now creating a platform to be working on, okay? We're going to be doing some colored acrylics on this, some glitters, lots of fun stuff. So right now, all I'm trying to do is just give myself a platform to work on and to build on. And let's go ahead and bring this maybe a little bit more coffin shape today. Let's pull in those sides a little bit more. And again, you guys, depending on the shape that you're doing, that's also going to be an upcharge if you do something outside of a basic set, okay? When I say basic set, for me, my basic set is a solid color, more of a, I'd say an active length that would probably go to about here on the form, okay? Anything longer than that is going to be an upcharge. Now, if you're going to about the length that we're at right now, that could be one upcharge. If you go even farther on the form, that can be an additional. If you go all the way to the end of the form, or if you're using our XL forms, that's going to be an even higher price. Because again, you guys, you have to remember, you're doing more work, you're using more product, so there's going to be a little bit more of a charge for it. Okay. All right, so we're going to be doing the slick pour acrylics on the whole nail. So when I do that, when I do a design that's going to be on the whole nail, I like to take a small pearl of my acrylic and just set that down on the nail, and I'm going to just kind of float that over the whole nail to give that a little bit of a barrier. So when I do put my colored acrylics on, I'm not going to be going right down to that natural nail for a couple of reasons. Mainly when I do my change outs, I'm going to have that little bit of acrylic still on there so that when I file off the other color, I don't have to take everything down completely to that natural nail. I have that little bit of product on there that's going to be a barrier so that I don't end up filing that natural nail. Okay. The other reason is that some products, colored acrylics do have a lot of pigment to them, and sometimes that pigment can stain that natural nail. So having that little bit of a barrier of that clear acrylic on there is going to be really helpful. Okay, so come back out here. So I'm going to be using 3 different of our slick pour colors. Now you guys, if you've had slick pour, you know what slick pour is. It's technically from our quote-unquote dip system, and I'm sure if you've used it as that, you'll love it. But it is actually an acrylic powder. It's just an ultra fine acrylic powder. So I've got 3 different colors. They all have glitters mixed into them. So you don't have to customize or anything like that. You can, but you don't have to. So these are all ready to go. So I'll just show you here really quick. So it does have the acrylic and the glitter in there. Okay. Now, when you're working with these that have the glitter in them, I recommend giving them a quick shake. That way it kind of mixes that glitter up with the acrylic, because sometimes if they're sitting or if they get tapped a little bit like that, then the glitter can actually rise to the surface. So just give it a quick little shake. I'll give all of them a quick little shake here. That way we know everything is really well mixed up. Okay. Hello everybody in the chat. Thank you very much for joining us. Again, great to see some new names in here and see some return guests. All right, so let's see. The colors that I'm going to be using today: Raspberry Blitz and Maraschino Blitz. I guess we're in the fruit section today. And then Oracle Bones. Okay, so these are the 3 colors that I'm going to be using. I'm going to start with, let's start with the Oracle Bones, and we're going to start working up by the cuticle. Okay, let's see. Amy T, yes, I am an active nail tech. You are here joining me in my actual salon. This is my table that I work at several days a week. So yes, I am an active nail tech in salon. All right, so really quick before we actually get into our glitter application here, I'm kind of checking this nail to see where it's at. Is it set all the way? Does it have a little bit of flexibility? And because it's a little bit cooler in my space here today, it is a little bit softer. It hasn't set all the way, which is fine, because in that way I can actually come in, I can press a little bit more of a C curve in, and it works really well. Okay, what I do want to do though is I'm going to actually take this form off. I want to make sure that I release that product. Let me zoom in here so you guys can see this happening. I want to make sure I release that product from the form before I try to pull that form off, because otherwise I stand the risk of pulling that whole extension off, because again, it's not quite set all the way through, but I do want to take my form off so that I can see what's happening with my glitter application. Okay. If I'm using a dark glitter like I'm going to be today, sometimes it's harder to see that when you have that form on still. But when I have just that clear extension, I can see exactly where my glitter is going. Okay, so you guys can see it's still fairly soft. So again, I really want to make sure that this is released. Okay, there we go. Now I can take that form off. There we go. All right, so let's start with Oracle Bones. And I'm going to pick up just a small pearl of this. Let's see if you guys can see as I pick up. Here, hang on. Okay, there we go. Now you can see. Okay, so I'm going to just pick up a small pearl. And that's going to be up at our cuticle area. Now, let me kind of break this down a little bit for you before I actually apply. So I've got 3 colors that I'm adding. So when I'm working on the nail, I'm going to have these about even amounts of each color. So I want to break that nail into thirds. So if I kind of visualize, if I put a little line right there, this is going to be 1/3. And then I'm going to have 2/3 and 3/3. Okay, so one color is going to fill in this area, second color is going to fill in this area, they're just going to fill in kind of that free edge area, okay? So it gives you just kind of an eyeball on how to apply your product, because if you're trying to get an even blend, you don't want too much of one color or not enough of another color. So again, just going with those thirds. I'm going to drop my product right at my cuticle area. Just going to start to press that out nice and tight around the cuticle. You guys make sure that you still leave a tiny little hairline of space all the way around that cuticle. You don't want product touching the skin, okay? I'm just going to come in and feather out that edge of my product now. Okay. Just very gently, just using the tip of the brush just to really feather that out and kind of blend out that color, okay? All right, so let's take our second color, and let's see, this one was Maraschino Blitz. Sasha C., I am in Minnesota. Young Nails Company is based out of California, but I actually work remotely from Minnesota. I do come to Anaheim from time to time to film videos for you guys and do classes, but I am actually in Minnesota. Let's see here. Miss Cheryl's Place, I actually have an Archon mount holding my camera. So I am sitting right behind my camera working. Okay, we're going to pick up our second pearl here. I'm going to drop that down right in the middle and just kind of tap that out. I picked this pearl up a little on the wetter side so that I can blend this a little bit better. So just kind of tapping, letting a little bit of that liquid from my brush flow into that product. Okay, let me come in a little bit for you guys. And then again, oops, I don't know where that little fuzz came from. I'm going to just blend out that edge. Okay, and I'm going to wipe out my brush. I'm going to turn my brush back around and then just lightly pull a little bit of that edge of my glitter back up into that lighter color. Okay, now if you're having a hard time getting this to blend, because sometimes certain colors don't blend as easily as others. Now the colors that I've chosen today, these actually should blend fairly well together. When you go from like a, kind of the same tones, they're going to blend better. Now, if I went from, I don't know, green to purple, those probably aren't going to blend as well together. So here's a trick that I'm going to show you that is going to help you. So you're going to pick up a pearl, just a tiny little pearl, keep it fairly wet. So then you can just come in and just kind of let that liquid from your brush flow with that product. I'm going to pick up another small pearl of my lighter color. Oops, that may have been just a little too big. Just a tiny little pearl of my lighter color, and again, just kind of tapping that in there, letting that liquid from my brush flow with that product and let that all kind of blend together. Okay, so now you can see it's really starting to blend nicely. If you feel like you still need more of one color, you can always add those little tiny pearls just to get them to blend really well. And then maybe just another tiny little bit of that dark, again, just to really blend that, again, letting that liquid from my brush just kind of move that product a little bit. Okay. All right. Vape Spun Harlot, I know, I love the holographic glitter. It is beautiful, and you guys, camera doesn't do this justice. I'm going to show you the finished look at the end, but camera never does it justice. Okay, our third color, Raspberry Blitz. I love this color, you guys. It is so pretty, so pretty. Okay, so we're going to pick this one up. And this one, I'm actually going to drain out a little bit on my towel because this one I want to keep a little bit more bold at the end, okay? I don't want it to blend quite so much because I'm not blending in both directions. I'm just blending up to the pink. So I'm just gonna press that out, tuck that in on the sides, and then again, blend backwards. Alrighty. So here's a reason, you guys, that I wanted to take my nail off the form. See how on the edge here, I can see through that a little bit. If I still had my dark form under there, it's possible that I would have missed that spot and it would have looked like I had enough product on there. But because I can see through it now, I can tell that I don't have enough product on there. So I'm gonna pick up a little bit more and just set that down into place, filling in any little empty spots that we have. Alrighty, I think that side is gonna be good. Let me come over, check the other side, and you can kind of see that I didn't actually get around to blending this one yet. Let me see if I can still blend it, or if it's set a little bit. It's still blendable at this point. Like I said, you guys, it's a little chilly in my room today, so everything's setting up a little bit slower, which is fine. Just gives us a little bit more time to work with it and really customize our blend here. Okay, so again, filling in that other edge there and blending, 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 blending. All right, let's add just a little touch more of that maraschino. And again, keeping that wet so that it kind of flows a little bit more, and then a little bit more of our purple here. And now I forgot what the name of the purple is. Whoops. All right. Okay, so now I think I've got everything blending how I want to. You guys, I can't just do a glitter blend. I got to add a little bit more something to it. So I'm going to take a little bit of our banana strawberry mylar, and I'm going to come back out here. I like to just kind of sprinkle that onto my towel, and that way I can pick up little bits and pieces of this and place it onto the nail. Okay, now at this point, part of my nail is a little bit tacky still, so if I did pick up little pieces of the mylar, it would stick down into that. But if the rest of it is set, you can pick up a tiny pearl of the clear. So I'm just using Speed Clear and just kind of setting that on there, kind of brushing it through wherever I want to put that. It's going to give me just a little bit of a wet surface to set all of my pieces of mylar in. Okay, let me bring you in a little bit closer here. Victoria Kilman, this is, we also have raspberry, but this one is the banana strawberry. You guys, we have a bunch of great mylar colors, and a lot of times I'll actually mix some. You know what, let's grab a little bit of lemon. So here, so I'm adding just a little bit of the lemon. So yeah, I've got the lemon now and the banana strawberry. So you can really customize, and each one is going to have a little bit of a different glow to it. And I know it doesn't look like a whole lot when it's just on the nail, but once you get that clear acrylic over the top of it, and then you file and you top coat, oh my gosh, you guys, it is amazing. It is going to just shine like you wouldn't believe. Okay, so oops, where did that extra stuff come from? That was on my nail. All right, so I think I've got what I want to put on here at this point. Now we're going to encapsulate this. So I'm going to turn my table towel over so I've got a little bit more of a clean spot to wipe my brush. We are going to come back in with our Speed Clear, and we are going to just cap this whole nail. Now, I hope you guys have all watched a lot of Greg's, of his live videos, because he goes really in depth into your structure and your application, how to pick up pearls. So you guys, if you've missed any of those, definitely go back and rewatch them. But he shows really, really good how to pick up those pearls. So that's exactly what we're going to do here, is just a basic overlay. So we're just overlaying our product that we have on that nail. We're going to create our structure, and we're going to encapsulate all of that gorgeousness that's on that nail. Patrice Jackson is asking, how do you take nails off? With the acrylics, what I would recommend is using the electric file and filing down as much of your product as possible. And then if you're completely removing them, then you can soak off that last little bit with some acetone. But I would definitely try to file off as much as you can. That way you're not just soaking in acetone for a long period of time. Okay? Hopefully that helps. All right, so again, just pressing out my product. I'm going to kind of take a look at this from the side. I think I need a little bit more of that bulk up into my stress area, so I'm going to blend that product back. And again, checking from my sides here. All right, and then I'm going to blend forward to really taper that off the end. Now you can see I have a little bit of that clear that's coming off the end. That's just fine because I actually want to take a little bit of that off. I don't want as much bulk on there. So I'm just going to take that little tiny bit off of there. Okay, so I think we've got our nail how we want. So while that's setting, let's talk about pricing here. Let me close up some things while I'm talking with you guys about the, whoops, wrong way. There we go. All right. If I'm looking at the chat, say hi to Mason. Hello, Mason. Hopefully you're having a wonderful day today. All right, let's see. I'm going to close all my products up. You guys make sure that when you are working that you do close all your products up, close your liquid up, close your powders, clean out your brush, put that in a clean, safe space. Hopefully if you have a brush cover, that's going to be great. But you want to make sure that you're not filing all of that filing dust into those powders, okay? Okay, so we did our nail. So let's talk about pricing while this is setting. Okay, so my pricing, and you guys, I'm going to tell you what my prices are. You take them for what they're worth. You adjust them how you want to adjust them for your pricing, okay? But like I was telling you before, my full sets are going to start at, let me come in a little bit here, at a basic, kind of a short active length nail, okay? So anything from here or shorter is going to be what I consider an active length, okay? So for me, my active length, and it's going to be a square shape. It's not going to be anything rounded, oval, squoval, well, maybe squoval. But it's a basic square shape, and that length is going to be, for me, my price is $100 for that set. Now, here's our add-ons, okay? What do we have? We have a longer nail, okay? So a longer nail you're going to add in for length. Now, for me, at this length, I would add $10 for the set, okay? So now we're up to a set of $110, okay? On top of that, we've got all of these colors, all of these glitters, mylars, all of this fun stuff. All of that adds up, and this is where we really want to make sure that we're adding these things in. Now, so I don't lose track of where my price is, I'm going to write these things down for you guys, and maybe for myself too, so I don't forget. So let me come back out here. All right, let's see here. Okay, so what did we say? Our full set, let me see, make sure you guys can see this. Okay, so our full set is going to start for, let's see, basic, short, full set, okay? I'm going to start that at 100. Whoops, 100. Okay. And then we're going to add on for our length. Now, again, I know a lot of people will charge $10, $20. You know, it's up to you what you charge. I charge for this length, I would charge an additional 10. Okay. Again, if it's any longer than that, I would charge another 10. So if maybe it was coming out to here, it would be an additional $20. Okay. So kind of, you know, you can price as you go. So as it's this length, it's one price. This length is another. This length is another. This length is another. Say that 5 times fast. Okay, so there's our length. Now, we actually did a coffin shape. We're going to file that in a little bit more tapered, but from underneath, you're going to be able to tell it is, whoops, sorry guys, it is going to be a coffin shape, okay? So that coffin shape is also a custom shape. It's not just that regular square. So we're going to do a shape charge, okay? So again, you choose your prices, but my custom shaping starts at $10 for a coffin. Now, if I'm doing something like a stiletto or something like that, that's a little bit more precise, I might bring that up to $20. And again, you guys, these here, the length and shape price, that is for the full set. It's not per nail, okay? We'll talk about some things that are per nail, okay? Now, we've got our full set, we've got our length, we've got our shape. Let's talk about all of these other fun things that whoa, this is why you put your caps on, guys. Guess I didn't tighten that one. But this is where we're going to add in some of those other prices, okay? So what we have here is a dimensional nail or an encapsulated nail, however you want to, you know, put it on your mailing list, on your price list. That's how I put it on mine, is an encapsulated or a dimensional nail, okay? Now, for my dimensional nails, I charge $10 per nail, starting at, okay? Now, listen to where I'm going with this. So this nail itself would start at $10. So we're going to do dimension is $10 per nail. Okay, now for my sets, I include one color in that dimensional nail. So in that $10, they get that one color. Now this person wanted to add in 2 more colors and actually now 2 mylars. Okay, so for colors, okay, so an extra color, I'm going to add $5. Okay, so, and that's per color. Okay, so we added 2 extra colors on top of that. Okay, hopefully you guys are with me so far. Okay, we're going to add this all up in the end. I promise it's going to make sense. Okay, and then we also added Mylar, which again I do $5 per color. Whoops. Okay, so $5 per color. Okay, so I think we got all of our things on there that we're charging for. Now, I know you guys in the chat, I see your comments and you're saying, what the heck, this is crazy, this is overcharging, this is, you know, whatever. I understand, I feel your pain, but here's the thing. As a working nail tech, we have to charge these prices because I have to keep all of these colors in stock. I have to keep all my Mylars in stock. So I have to have all of these different products, all of these different tools to give you the design that you're wanting. Okay, if I didn't have these in stock, then you wouldn't be able to get these designs. Okay, now the other thing to think about, those longer nails, the longer your nail is, the more of a custom shape you're going to be doing, those are all going to take more time. Okay, it's going to take more time, it's going to take more product. So this is why we're charging more for it. We're not just charging more because we're, you know, wanting to be overpriced or we're wanting to, you know, price gouge or anything like that. It's not that. This is how a nail tech makes their money. This is how we pay our bills. This is how we pay our rent. This is how we pay our car payment. So if we only have the basics, we can only provide you with the basics. But in order to provide all of these different things, all of these beautiful designs, this is why we need to charge those extra prices, okay? So let's total up what our nails were here. Okay, so we had $100 for the full set. I'm just going to make a little note here. So $100 for our full set. We had $10 for our length. We had $10 for our shape. We have, let's just say we're only doing one dimensional nail on this full set. So she's got just one accent nail. All of the rest are a solid color, okay? So we're going to charge her $10 for that one dimensional nail. But then we've got 2 additional colors, okay, so that's going to be another $10. And then we've got 2 Mylars, so that's going to be another $10, okay? Did I miss anything? If you guys see anything that I missed, let me know in the chat. Okay, but otherwise, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, we are at $150, okay? Now, I know again, some of you are thinking that sounds like an awful lot. But again, to do this process, to have all of these products in stock, it is going to cost me additional, okay? So let's see, somebody was asking, what's the 100 for? That's my base price for any full set. So that's my starting price. So if my client just wanted a short, natural color with maybe a gel polish over the top of it, that's where the $100 would start. All of these extras, those are my additional add-ons. So a little bit more for length, shape, doing the dimensional nail and extra colors and Mylars, okay? All right, so hopefully that pricing makes a little bit of sense to you. And let's go ahead and start filing this nail so you can actually see what we're paying for, okay? Because I know you guys, it does. It sounds like a lot, and for some people, it might be, you know, a little bit more than what they're used to paying. But again, we do have to keep these prices in mind because we have product to cover. We have, you know, all of these things. You guys, I could list so many different expenses that nail techs have, starting with our rent, starting with our products that we have to purchase, starting with our license fees, our continuing education. What else do we have to pay for? All of these different things, you guys. So make sure that you are charging properly, okay? I'm gonna come in, I've got my safety Bit Coarse here, and I've got my e-file on, what do we got, 14,000 RPMs. Just gonna take in my edges a little bit here. Let me come in so you guys can see these. Okay, that's a little bit better. Okay, again, tapering in those sides because we've got our coffin shape. I'm going to kind of check underneath. I do a little bit more of my filing with my e-file than I do with my hand file. So you guys, you can come in and kind of clean up those, clean up those lower arches with your e-file. We're gonna come, let me adjust the camera so you guys can see this. All right, we're gonna come right through my cuticle area, around that cuticle, get that nice and tapered down, and then I'm gonna follow through that arch. I'm looking at this nail from that side profile so I can see exactly what's happening to that arch of my nail. Get that proper curve. Make sure it just kind of flows right through. And you guys, again, I'm not bringing my bit all the way from the side all the way over. If your bit gets to the point, you see how I can see that little bit of space in between there? If my bit gets to the point where I can't see that bottom part of the bit, chances are it's gonna wrap around and it's gonna kind of spin around that nail, okay? So make sure that you're keeping that bit up on top of the nail, flowing through that cuticle. And now we will come look straight down the barrel of that nail. Oops, my finger's gonna pop out here. All right. Okay, I'm just gonna pull forward, taper in those sides. Make sure everything is nice and even. Sorry, you guys, her nail just wants to, hang on one second. There we go. Just needed one more click. Okay, now her nail's nice and tight there. Again, just pulling forward, again, looking down the barrel of that nail to make sure that everything is nice and even. My free edge is nice and tapered. I'm gonna check that one more time. Okay, I think we're good. Let's see. Kiana Ford, the nails that I did today, these are not short. No, these would be more of a long length. Yeah, so that's why we charge that little bit extra for this length. A short nail or an active length nail, to me, I would have gone to about here. To me, that's what I would consider an active or a short length for my clients. Okay. Now, you guys, I did switch over to my sanding band. I'm going to turn my speed down to about 7,000 RPMs. And I just like to use this just to kind of refine around that cuticle just a little bit more, because again, I would much rather use my e-file than my hand file. The e-file is going to be much easier on my hands, on my body, on my shoulders. So the more I can use my e-file to refine things, the better I'm going to be, okay? And sometimes it's just nice to get just that little bit of extra refinement before I hit it with my hand file, okay? All right, I think we are good to go there. Let me readjust our little trainer hand here. Okay, Kayla, yes, this is my dust extractor. I actually have it mounted down into my table. Let me scooch back so you guys can see. So I have just basically cut a hole into my table here and dropped the dust collector down in there. You guys, if you are looking for a dust collector, we are having a sale this weekend starting on Sunday. The dust collectors will be on sale, so it's a great sale. Make sure that you catch that. Watch for our video on Saturday. We'll be launching our video showing you what's on sale, so you can take a look there and definitely get some good deals. Okay. All right, so we are gonna kind of taper in our sides for our coffin nail here. I'm gonna straighten out that free edge. And then we're gonna check our lower arches. And I'm actually turning that finger on the side so that I can see exactly where my lower arch is coming, okay? I'm not adjusting my body, I'm moving my client, because if I'm sitting here for, 8, 10, sometimes 12 hours a day, if I'm busy on that day, I don't wanna be kind of squishing my body up or, putting myself into an uncomfortable position. Your client is gonna be sitting here for an hour, depending on the designs that you're doing, hour and a half, maybe even 2 hours, okay? But they can sit there and they can be a little bit, mobile. They can move themselves. Whereas if you're sitting here for 10 hours a day and you're trying to move yourself into uncomfortable positions just to see what your client's nails are looking like, you're gonna start to hurt after a while, okay? So make sure that you are putting yourself into a comfortable position and moving your client so that you can see where where you need to file. Okay. All right, so I'm just coming up around that cuticle and then contouring my sides, blending all of that in together, making sure everything is nice and smooth and even. I'm gonna just kind of take a look from the side here, see where my arch is. Okay, oops. See if this will hold here. Oh, sorry guys, okay. And then I'm gonna check that nail from my client's perspective. Looks like I was sitting a little bit straighter today than I was yesterday, so everything looks a little bit straighter here. Okay, let's go ahead and angle that back down. Check everything. Make sure everything is nice and even. All right, I'm going to turn this back around. I'm going to turn my dust extractor off. Come through, dust that off, get all of that dust off of the nail, and then I'm going to cleanse with a little bit of swipe. So I pumped a little bit of swipe onto my manicure brush, and we're just going to dust that all off. I'm going to let that dry, give it a little minute to dry, and then I'm going to come back in with one more coat of my protein bond. Okay, so you guys can kind of see, let me come in a little bit more. When you're doing your filing, sometimes you see a little bit of that scratchy surface. Before you put your top coat on, especially when you're doing nails like this, where they're dimensional, where you've got glitters in there, go ahead and put one more coat of that protein bond on there, because that's going to kind of fill in those little scratches, and it's really going to make those glitters pop out when you put that top coat on. All right, I'm going to use my manicure top coat today, just because that's what I have sitting right here. Nice and quick and easy. Manicure is a soft gel top coat, but you can definitely use it over your acrylics and your hard gels as well. It does have a tacky surface that you're going to want to take off using the Manicure cleanse. This is going to help remove all of that tacky surface without dulling it or anything like that. Okay, so you guys, the Manicure top coat is going to go into the light for 1 full minute. But I will show you guys here the finished look. Okay, so let me come in there. So again, you guys, thank you for sticking around here today. Hopefully some of these pricing ideas are going to help you in salon and give you some ideas where your prices should be or can be. But you know, like I tell you guys, these are the prices that I charge. What you charge is up to you, but just make sure that you are charging for all of your extras. Make sure that you're charging for your slick pores. Make sure that you're charging for those mylars. Make sure you're charging for those coffin-shaped nails, okay? So thank you guys for joining us today. If you enjoyed today's stream, please like, please subscribe to our channel. This way we can get you guys more education, more information out there. And hopefully we will see you guys on another live stream coming up. And hopefully you guys, I got some of your questions answered. Let me just flip this around real quick if I can figure out where my camera is. I can't figure out where my camera is just yet, you guys. But if you guys do have any other questions, you are always welcome to DM us on social media. Oops, there we go. Okay. Hey everybody, yeah, definitely feel free to DM us on social media and on our text community. Absolutely, we would love to hear from you, love to get feedback from you. Let's see, somebody had a question, why you use protein bond on not natural nails though if it works to fill in. So when I use the protein bond on that last, before the top coat, it's because that way it's going to kind of fill in those cracks. It's going to give me more of a shiny finish, and it's going to really help my top coat to adhere. So one last question there for you guys, but again, feel free to contact us anytime you need. Like, follow, subscribe. We appreciate all of you. Thank you for joining us today. Bye, everybody.